Hello, everyone, and welcome to our event this evening, a DIY guide to marketing your business. My name is Justine Abigail Yu, and I am the curator of content and events here at Wonderful. And I'm so thrilled to share this event with you all. And so I'm going to quickly share my screen here so you get some more visuals other than me. Let me add to stream. There we go. For those of you who are joining and are not yet familiar with Wonderful, I just wanted to let you all know that Wonderful is a global community and lifestyle brand that specializes in helping all women travel the world. We connect our community both online and in person through our thriving online community, our online membership network. We have local chapter events in 50 cities and counting. We have global summits and small group trips, so much happening in the community all the time. We are also the creators of the WITS Travel Creator Summit. And while we connect women travelers together, that's a huge chunk of the work that we do. We also really want to focus on amplifying the voices of women and underrepresented people in the travel industry. And we're ultimately striving towards making this industry one that is more equitable, inclusive, and thoughtful. So thank you all for joining and supporting our work. Quick things I want to get through before we start our presentation here. Some September announcements. As always, if you are looking to grab a coffee with a wonderful woman in your city, or if you want to see any local meetups that are happening in your city, if you are looking for a friend, if you want to just connect with all of the amazing women in our community, definitely check out your local chapter. You can find that sheswonderful.com/chapters. And if you don't find a chapter in your city, why not start one yourself? And you'll find, again, all of the information there on that website, sheswonderful.com/chapters. Some events that we have coming up in the community on September 22nd, we have the top 15 new hot destinations for 2023, which is being hosted by the Girls Guide to the World. We have our goals accountability for your business that's happening on September 27th. And of course, we've got our Women in Travel Summit in Gdansk in Poland, which we're so excited about. That's happening October 7th to 9th. So definitely check that out. We'll follow up with an email with all of this information, but we would love to see you there. And of course, for those of you who are already members of Wonderful, you know that a portion of your membership goes to a different travel organization each month. And this month's beneficiary is the Adventure Travel Conservation Fund. And you can learn about them. You can follow. Oh, did I put their website here? I did. So it is, visit them today at adventuretravelconservationfund.org. Again, that's adventuretravelconservationfund.org. So learn more about their amazing work. You should also know that for every paid membership, a wonderful scholarship goes to a woman in need. And so encourage you to share this information at sheswonderful.com/scholarships. Our next application deadline for our scholarship is taking place on December 1st, 2022. You'll find all the information on our website. All right. Of course, let's get social. That's why we're all here, right? So if you want to follow us and share any of the insights that you're learning here this evening, please connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at She's Wonderful. Again, that's at She's Wonderful across all socials. And of course, I want to thank our event sponsor this evening, Adobe Express. For those of you who are new to this, I know there's a lot of folks who are joining us from around the world because you want to learn more about Adobe Express. Adobe Express enables you to quickly and easily create standout social graphics, flyers, logos, and more on mobile and web. There is no design skills necessary here. It's free to get started. And so, you'll feel like you have a designer in your corner as you select or upload your own images, as you try different layouts, add text to photos, applying effects and filters, and all of these amazing things that you're going to learn a lot more about today. And you can learn more about Adobe Express at adobe.com/express. So link is below there in our banner. I also wanted to let you all know that we do have Adobe Express moderators who are present with us in our chat. And so they'll be answering any product related questions that you might have. And very exciting, we also have 5 premium subscriptions for Adobe Express that we're giving out this evening. So please make sure to stay through this event till the very end, which is when we're going to be announcing the winners for this giveaway. Again, we're giving out 5 premium subscriptions to Adobe Express. So please join us throughout the event this evening, where we'll be announcing those winners later. But without further ado, I don't want to take up any more time here, because the star of our show is Kitiya Palaskas, who is a multidisciplinary craft-based designer. She's also the founder of Kitiya Palaskas Studio, a full-service creative agency that specializes in prop and installation design, content creation, public art, event design, illustration, and creative workshop facilitation, with a focus on traditional handmade techniques reimagined in contemporary ways. Kit has over 12 years of experience crafting for global brands, providing unique and tactile design solutions that help them stand out from the crowd. And so I am so excited for you to learn about Kit here. And I'm going to throw her socials there. So you can follow Kit there at Kitiya Palaskas, both on Instagram and TikTok. And without further ado, I'm going to get Kit to join me on screen here. Thank you so much for being here this evening.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to get to share some of my insights and experience with all of you about marketing a small business. And I'd really love to know where you're coming from today. If you have a small business, maybe what brought you here. If you want to learn about Adobe Express, feel free to pop in the chat what you are into if you have a business and what brings you here today. And I'm about to share my screen so that we can get started. So bear with me. There we go. Okay, so if at any point you can't see my screen, I'm juggling multiple windows here. Let me know and we can get that sorted. But let's get started. So this is a DIY guide to marketing your business. Now, I love marketing. I, as you know, run my own small business here in Melbourne, Australia. And marketing has always really fascinated me and been something that I really enjoy. And I'm fascinated by all the different ways that you can market a business, because it's not a one size fits all. But I also recognize that marketing can be pretty overwhelming, especially if you are like me and you do run your own small business or your own solo entrepreneurial venture, or you're a freelancer, or you're aspiring to be one. It feels like it can sometimes be a full-time job on top of your actual job. So I'm here to show you how you can efficiently and successfully market your own business without it being overwhelming and taking up too much of your time and taking time and space away from the things that you're really passionate about, which for me anyway is my craft-based business. So in 2010, I was assisting a fashion stylist while living in Sydney. I had trained in printmaking at art school. I dabbled in a bit of styling, and now I had my own fashion and accessories label selling my handmade wares on Etsy. So it was pretty early days of Etsy when I first started my fashion label. I think it was 2006. And so I was really gaining traction as this handmade apparel and accessories designer. But I really wanted a bit more experience in the fashion industry. So I was assisting a fashion stylist, and she knew that I was really crafty. So she would get me to create bespoke handmade pieces for her fashion shoots. So maybe it would be a costume piece for a model to wear. Maybe it would be an installation piece for the set of a campaign shoot. Anyway, she started to recommend these handmade bespoke services to her other stylist, creative director, art director friends. And that's kind of how I got my start in business. So I kind of fell into the career that I'm currently in now, and I'm completely self-taught. I never had any training whatsoever when it came to running a business, marketing a business, knowing what to do, knowing the legalities of how business works in Australia or in the world. I honestly was such a novice. I was so clueless, and I learned everything on the job, probably from making a whole bunch of really embarrassing mistakes. Once you make a mistake, you never, ever want to do that again. And so I think that my approach to business and as such marketing has been really, really DIY because it had to be. There was no course, there was no lessons, there was no mentorship. So 12 years later, as Justine mentioned, I'm now the founder of Kitiya Palaskas Studio. We're a creative design studio that specializes in prop design, installation design, content creation, illustration, and workshops. And we all use craft-based techniques as like the backbone of our design aesthetic. So we work with big brands around the world to produce bespoke handmade design projects for things like retail displays, ad campaigns, events, editorials, music videos, and all sorts of things. We have really done a whole wide range of really amazing projects, and that's kind of it's my passion. So I love craft, and to be able to bring it to a commercial level has been really exciting. So I want to talk firstly about my design ethos and what drives me as a creative and as a business owner, and that is DIY. So I believe in DIY, not only in my making techniques, but also in how I approach my career. And this ethos has really carried me through the past 12 years. And so I want to share a little bit about it with you right now. So to me, the DIY ethos means that you are designing your own career path. So you are potentially forging a niche career for yourself based on your passions that maybe doesn't exist in the conventional career space. So being a craft-based designer is something that never really was on my radar, or I didn't even know that you could make craft in this professional way. And I kind of forged that for myself. The DIY ethos is also creating your own opportunities. So I'm a strong believer in not waiting for people to come to me. If I want something, I'm going to go out there and create a path to that goal myself. It's also about producing your own content. And this is where DIY marketing comes into it. It's really feeling empowered to create marketing, create advertising and things like that for your business without having to rely on external people to help you. And that especially is important when you are starting out and you maybe don't have the budget to hire a whole marketing team for your business. It's about defining your own style, really going against the trends, being aware of them, but really doing things your way in your authentic style and your voice. And it's also about following your passion. So in our business, we basically follow the creative things that we're really passionate about at the time. And we jump from passion to passion, following them where they lead. And the work comes to us based off that. And it's been a really unique way to do business. We don't really create things that we think other people want to see in terms of trends. We really create our own trends, or we try to. So when we're thinking about marketing a small business, the first thing I feel is to really understand what good marketing is. And it's really important to understand this when you are doing your own marketing, because it can form the backbone of your marketing strategy. So here's a few things that I feel good marketing is. So first of all, it's being true to your brand and your voice. That authenticity is really going to shine through when you are sharing marketing assets and marketing campaigns about your business. It's also about quality over quantity. So I know there's a lot of marketing rhetoric out there that says you've got to be posting on social media, for example, every single day, maybe sometimes multiple times a day. Honestly, I have not met one person that has been able to achieve that successfully over a long period of time. To me, good marketing is more about highly strategic content that is pushed out, maybe not necessarily every day, but when it is pushed out, it's really fantastic. And linked to that is consistency. So let's just say you are only marketing your business, maybe once a day on social media, for example. It's the same day every week. Your audience knows to expect something from you consistently across the period of time that you choose. And it's also about storytelling. So to me, sharing your brand story, sharing where you came from, sharing why you're passionate about doing what you're doing, these are the things that really hook an audience. At least for me, when I'm introduced to a new brand for the first time, it's the stories and the personality behind that brand that really gets me on board and makes me want to support that brand and get to know more about them and what they're offering. And it's also a complement to your brand. It's not another full-time job on top of your existing job. So I talked about that a little bit before. So marketing should really be the tool to share what's already there. It shouldn't be a whole extra job. And marketing is also holistic. It's not just about Instagram. It's not just about TikTok. There are so many different ways to market your business, and I'm going to touch on some of them today. And I think there's a lot of reliance out there on social media as being like the be all and end all of what your marketing should be, and it's really not. So let's dive in. Okay, so as a freelancer for years and now a small business owner and the founder of my creative studio, I have a small team. I've been responsible for all aspects of my business, including the marketing, for the whole time. And I can imagine that there's probably a few of you out there that are the same. We have to wear a lot of hats as small business owners and freelancers and solo entrepreneurs. We have to do it all because we don't necessarily have the big teams to do it for us. And I think this is a really common scenario that a lot of us face. And, it's pretty normal. It can be pretty overwhelming to have to wear all the hats. But it doesn't have to dominate your time and be stressful. So there are ways to streamline your marketing so that you can make it easier to manage it and still share your brand story in a compelling and memorable way. And so some of the key things that I've identified to do that are, for example, to be selective with your marketing platforms. I don't feel like we all have to be on all the platforms. I mean, that just becomes impossible because there are so many different ways to market your business. Trying to show up everywhere can sometimes dilute the power of your marketing. It's about working smarter and not harder. So I'm all about streamlining. I'm all about trying to find better, more time-efficient ways to do things. And marketing is definitely falling into that bucket for me. And it's all about scheduling your marketing. So I love to batch create. I love to pre-schedule so that I can just take my foot off the pedal, do the work once, and then let everything kind of roll out. And so these are the themes that we're going to be discussing in this session today. So the first thing I wanted to dive into is how to choose the best marketing platforms for your business. So like I said, there are so many ways to market a business, but for my business in particular, I'm always aiming to streamline. I'm all about that quality over quantity. And as I said before, contrary to what a lot of marketing rhetoric says, I don't believe that you have to show up across every single platform. It's too much to handle. Instead, I prefer to select the platforms or the methods of marketing that truly work best for my business and my audience. If my audience isn't hanging out on TikTok, for example, I'm not going to bother being on TikTok because that's not where they are. We'll get into that a little bit more in a sec. But first of all, which marketing platforms suit you? And these are some in this list that I have experimented with in the past. But I mean, even just looking at them now, there's so many more that you could add to this list. There's things like Facebook pages, there's print, radio, and TV advertising, there's analog flyering and postering. There's so many different platforms that we can use to share the story of our business. So I'm going to go through the ones that I've listed here. We start off with our website. Now, I consider this to be the mothership, I call it, because to me, it is the one place online that you own. So you have complete ownership and control over your website and what's on it and how often you promote it. And it's where the bulk of our content, at least as a business, sits. And then all the other marketing kind of streams out from this core place, which is your website. There's an email list. I know that mailing lists have had a bad rap in the past, but I personally love them. It's a direct way into someone's life through their email account. And I think it's a really, really personal way to connect with people. There's referrals. Nothing beats a good word of mouth referral. There's in-person events, markets, art fairs, networking events, that kind of thing. It's really amazing how powerful it can be to network and meet someone face-to-face and tell stories and talk about your business together. There's podcasts, interviews and features on TV and in press. There's Pinterest, which is great for evergreen content, and you can drive traffic directly back to your site. There's live streaming sites like Twitch. There's obviously Instagram and TikTok, social media platforms. There's YouTube, which is great for long form content. There's subscription-based platforms like Patreon or Mighty Networks if you want to build a community. And there's LinkedIn, which is a really great way to connect with professional industry people. So as you can see, there's just so many different ways, and it's really about finding the ones that work for you. At the moment in my business, I focus on our website, newsletter, word of mouth referrals, press features, socials, and Pinterest and LinkedIn. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but by streamlining your marketing, as I'm going to show you, it really doesn't have to be overwhelming. So, okay, how do we figure out which is the right platform for our business? Well, it's actually all about the audience, and the audience first and primarily. So the first thing to do is identify your core audience. Now, you may already know, if you have a business, what your core audience is. And this is sort of an exercise or something that you might do when you start your business venture, to just kind of explore who your ideal customer is, who your ideal audience is. It's a branding exercise. If you are new to kind of like figuring out how to identify your core audience, you could always start off by, if you've got a social media presence already, going into the analytics and checking out kind of where your audience is coming from, the demographic of your audience, their location, their age, that kind of thing. But you could also figure it out anecdotally through, let's just say you sell products, what kind of people are buying your products, or what kind of DMs are you getting, or, you know, like what kind of people are coming up to you at events or market stalls or networking things and are interested in your business. Maybe you have an ideal customer in mind that has been made up. So you want to attract a certain type of person, in which case that might become your ideal audience, and you'll go out and try and find them. So there's lots of ways to identify them. But once you have, it's really important to find out where they hang out. So where are they absorbing content? Is it on Instagram? Are they a young audience? Are they hanging up more on TikTok? Do they prefer newsletters? Are they really into subscribing to newsletters? Do they prefer to attend in-person events and meet people face-to-face? Once you've figured out where they hang out, you can then bring your brand to them. It's important to make sure that you don't just wait for people to find you. You want to be making it super easy for your brand to be discovered. And so bringing the content, bringing your marketing exactly to the place where they're going to be hanging out already is a really streamlined and direct way to communicate with your audience. All right, so the second thing I want to chat about today is the way we approach our marketing. So, as you might be aware, burnout is a real issue that's facing so many of us today, especially post-pandemic, especially small business owners. So here are some sobering statistics about the creative industry in particular. So 66% of artists say that they've experienced burnout at least once. Now, that is actually a huge percentage, I think. 57% of creatives say that their workload increased during the pandemic. Now, I personally put this down to like all the pivoting and scrambling we had to do to keep our creative careers afloat in this uncertain time. And this one is hectic. In 2022, 52% rate their work-life balance as average or poor. So these statistics are screaming at me that burnout is an issue that is really, really serious, and that a lot of us are facing right now in the small business world, in the creative world, in the entrepreneurial freelance world. So sometimes marketing can seem like a full-time job on top of your actual job, but our goal is to reduce overwhelm that can lead to burnout and free up space and time to work on our true passion, which is our business. So the key is to work smarter, not harder. And one of the key ways that we do this in my studio is to create our marketing content once and then repurpose it multiple times. And so I want to introduce you to our marketing strategy, which is create once, repurpose forever. So I'm going to go over my strategy for you just to give you an example of what we do with our marketing. And you can feel free to steal this if it works for you, but marketing isn't a one size fits all. So you really have to find a strategy that works for you, your time, your capacity, and your specific business. So for us, we focus on our content pillars. And if you're not familiar with the term content pillars, it's basically some themes that we identify that we regularly need to talk about to tell the story of our business. So the content pillars at Kitiya Palaskas Studio are, first of all, we've identified them in this way, working creatives, or creative careers. We're really passionate about sharing knowledge and information about creative careers to help other like-minded people like us have thriving creative careers. Another pillar is studio. So studio updates, studio behind the scenes, talking about what we do here at the studio to drive interest from potential clients to hire us to do things. Another pillar is sales. So whether we're selling workshop tickets, we're selling digital products, we're selling physical products, that kind of thing. It's a more kind of salesy sort of theme that we talk about. And then my favorite one, which is celebrate handmade. So we're really passionate about celebrating handmade in all its forms and encouraging people to embrace their creativity. So one of the themes we regularly talk about in our marketing is, celebrating handmade techniques. We share DIYs, we share creative inspiration, that kind of thing. So remember that only a small percentage of your audience and your followers will see your content when it first comes out. New audiences won't have seen it yet at all. And people who do see it aren't really likely to remember it because we have so much content that is thrown at us all the time. So don't be afraid to repurpose your marketing content and do it often. So with our strategy, we first start by looking at a month overall, and we identify key dates and things that we think are really important to promote during that month. So that could be things like maybe seasonal events like Valentine's Day, Christmas, that kind of thing, but also things that are important to our studio. Like, for example, in October, this is the time where we usually need to start commissioning or getting commissions for our Christmas retail displays and installations to have enough lead time to be able to complete projects for our clients before the holiday season starts. So that's something that we definitely want to promote. Maybe, we've got a new creative career masterclass coming out, so we definitely want to promote that in that month. So we start off at the start of every month, identifying what those are. Then we drill down into weekly blocks. So at the end of a week or at the start of a new week, we will spend one day just working out all the content that we're going to be posting for that week and batch creating it. Now, the content comes from the actual work, and I think this is really important to talk about. We don't create content just for the sake of putting something online. We create content coming from actual things that are happening in our studio, actual physical products we have made, actual DIY projects we have published. So once we have a core piece of content, all of our marketing filters down from that and complements that core piece of content. And our core content lives on our website and our blog because it is a platform, like I said, that we own and we have control over. And we're constantly just trying to drive traffic back to our website, which is like the mothership housing all the information about us and our services. And so then our content is repurposed for all of our chosen marketing platforms. And as I said, we batch create on a Friday or a Monday and then schedule it all in. So that's our strategy. Feel free to try that out if you want. Here's an example of how that actually might work in reality. So on the left, I've got all of our pillars. And on the right, I've got the types of content that might fit into each of those pillars. So I'm not saying we only create 4 pieces of content a week. Sometimes we do multiple sales posts in a week. Just depends on what's going on. So for example, in one week, we could have a creative career workshop we want to advertise. We could need to announce that we're taking commissions. We could have created a new DIY that we want to share. And maybe we're dropping a new product that we want to advertise. So that's what a week might look like. So now I want to drill down into how we would repurpose content. And I'm going to use the DIY project as an example. So we use Adobe Express to create all of our content, which I'll get to in a minute, but using marketing and content creating tools like Adobe Express can really cut down the time that it takes to create your content and allow you to batch create things really easily so that you can implement your marketing strategy in a short period of time and free up space for all the other aspects of your business. Because like we said, it's not just marketing that we're doing in our business. There's so much more that happens on a weekly basis. So similarly, in the way that we create content, we also design our marketing assets once, and then we repurpose them for different marketing platforms using some of the tools in Adobe Express, which I'm going to show you in a minute. So for example, let's just say we have our core piece of content, which is our blog post, our DIY for these macrame beach chairs. And that sits on our blog, on our website. So then we push out different bits of marketing collateral across the chosen platforms that we're working with that week. So for example, here we have a YouTube thumbnail that we've created in Adobe Express. We can then remix that design to create some tiles for Pinterest and then remix it again really easily to create some tiles for Instagram. As you can see, it's a really cohesively branded look across all of the assets. And it was really easy. We could do this in a couple of hours, planning this content out on a Monday morning. And we also will speak kind of differently when we are producing copy to go with each of these pieces of content. The way that we speak perhaps on a YouTube video caption is different to how we would caption a Pinterest post, different to Instagram. And then, maybe if we're also using TikTok, maybe it's a bit more casual. So it's not exactly going to be a copy paste of the text across all the different marketing platforms. You're going to kind of massage it a little bit to suit the audience on that particular platform. But once you have that bulk piece of content, it's really easy to just repurpose across multiple things. So how can we use Adobe Express, for example, as a tool to streamline our marketing? So I'm just going to jump into another window now and give you a tour of the many tools available to you in Adobe Express and show you some of my favorite features that we use in the studio to create our marketing assets. So I'm going to stop sharing. Hello, I'm going to share again. Here we go. Okay. So this is the Adobe Express dashboard. Now I'm using here, for the purposes of this session, I am using the web version of Adobe Express. I really like the web version because there's so much functionality and there's so many tools available all in the one place. And I do a lot of my content creating on the computer, so it just makes sense. All my files are on the computer as opposed to on my phone. So it makes sense for me to use the web version, but you can also use your device or your phone to create as well. So if you're someone that really captures all your content on a phone, by all means, you can use the phone version. So I just want to give you a little tour of the dashboard and explain and introduce you to some of the features here, which I really love. All right, so we start off with a whole bunch of templates that we can create from. So there's so many beautiful design templates that you can just jump in and use. You can remix the template and create it your own, customize the colors, customize the fonts, customize the photos. And there's lots of different types of templates for different types of marketing platform. So once you've identified which platforms you're going to be using, most likely you'll be able to find a template that suits it here within Adobe Express. So if you are, I think the thing I love about Adobe Express is that you don't have to be a designer at all to use it, because there's already enough functionality on here and handy tools to make it easy for you to create like beautiful designs without having to know anything about design, which is awesome. So there's also a bunch of quick actions you'll see here, and they give you a really, really streamlined, fast way to do things that you might need to create content. For example, convert to a GIF if you want to make stickers to put on your social media posts, remove a background, resize, video editing, image editing, creating PDFs and QR codes, that kind of thing. This is really your like little hub for quick things that you might need to quickly do to edit a piece of content to get it out the door fast. On the left, we have areas for all your projects. So this is everything that you create. We have access to Creative Cloud libraries. It's a file storage system for all your graphic assets, and you can share libraries with your team or with other people so that you can all access the same files at the same time. We have the content scheduler, which is a really exciting tool I'm going to talk about in a minute. We also have the brand tool. So I'm going to show you the brand tool. So the brand tool is an area, here's my brand, where you can upload your brand assets. So you can upload logos. So I've got this little sort of like portrait logo, but then, oops, we have other logos within here as well. You can upload your fonts, you can upload all your brand colors, and it's really just a hub to keep all of your brand assets in one place, and you can easily apply them across all of your designs. So I really love that. Okay, so let's go back home. I want to dive into templates. So I want to show you the kinds of templates that we create for our marketing assets here in Adobe Express, and how you can actually create your own template. So I'm going to jump across to this window here. So here's a whole bunch of design assets that I've created for our business. So we have things like square tiles, which can be used for blog post thumbnails or social media grid posts. We have 9x16 tiles, which can be used for covers for reels, Instagram stories, and also repurposed for Pinterest tiles and that kind of thing. We have a thumbnail template that we can use for YouTube or for anything that has that like 16:9 format. We have some digital business card designs, which are also similarly branded and can be used when we're at networking events and sent to people via SMS. And we have blank tiles that are branded in our colors that we can sort of change to our different brand colors and use them for announcements as story tiles, so we can type on top of them. So as you can see, there's a whole suite here of really cohesively branded things in different colorways, really easy to swap out photos, swap out text when we need to. So I spent maybe an afternoon creating all of these, and once I have them now, it's super easy for me to just go in and change them, remix them for all the other things that I need. So you can design, as I said, from a template that already exists, or you can design assets from a blank, custom-sized thing and start from scratch. So if you want to do that, you can just tap on this plus button here and you can choose all the different size formats for the specific things that you want to do, or you can create a custom size graphic. So that's kind of what I did when I created these assets here. Now, another tool that you can do is create a remixable template from these designs, which then allows anyone that you share this with editing access to go in and just tap on one of your templates and make a new tile or a new design asset directly from the template. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. So let's just use this macrame beach chair square tile as an example. So if you want to make a template from this, you roll over it and there's 3 dots here. Now let me know if you can't see this. I think you probably should be able to see the detail. You tap on the 3 dots and then here it says make a template. You click on make a template. And then you can name your template. You can add notes about it, like for example, what this template should be used for, any kind of design rules you want to kind of apply to this asset to make sure it's consistent every time. And then you can share it to one of your Creative Cloud libraries. So I've got a library called KP Marketing, and that's what me and my team use to access all these design asset templates and remix them and reuse them. So you can just save it to that. And then it will copy the project into your library as a template so that you can remix it later on. And I'm going to show you what that looks like right now in another window. Okay, so here's my KP Marketing templates folder. So if I want to remix one of these, let's go to the one that I just created here. You'll see it says template underneath, and when you roll over it, it says create from. So you just hit that, and it'll open it up for you in the editing dashboard. And I want to kind of show you a few different things around this asset editing dashboard so that you can see kind of like what's available to you in terms of design tools. So here's our template. It's copied it into a new file. So now this is a new design file. So we can do things like, for example, we can edit the background. We can change the color. And because I'm using the brand tool in Adobe Express, all of my brand colors have come up immediately. So it's really easy for me to just, switch my color up to create a different tile. Now, I'm all about color. I don't know if you've noticed that by looking at my work. So we love to have lots of brand colors, and we love all of our different assets to be the same designs, but mix and match all of our colors, which I think is like really visually appealing and really fun. So we can just quickly change the colors. Let's make it purple. Or you can choose, if you want to choose like a background, you can choose an image, and you can actually use images from the Adobe stock library. And there's heaps of free ones, but there's also premium ones if you have a premium subscription to Adobe Express. So if you don't have a lot of marketing collateral already created, you can actually just use stock imagery and really, really nice stock imagery as well. So there's that option too. You can change what the type says. So if you click on the type, you can type in, something else. So let's just say we want to call it beach chair makeover. Maybe we want to, repost and repurpose the same content multiple times, but we want to shift up the text a little bit to just give it a point of difference. You can edit the size of your font. So let's just say we'll put that there. You can edit the font itself. Now, this is our brand font, Wonky font. It was designed by an amazing designer called Meg Lewis, and we bought it from her. But there's a whole bunch of thousands, actually, of Adobe fonts that you can actually work with. But if you have the brand tool, you can upload your specific brand font if you've got it. You can also manipulate the text as well. So there's lots of different options here. I encourage you to explore and play around. There's spacing, so you can control, the line spacing. You can create special shapes with your text using all of these sort of text lockups that are available to you. So maybe we'll just do that for the purpose of this, and we'll make it bigger. I mean, honestly, if you go in, you could just play around in this all day long because it's really fun. Maybe we'll change the text color to pink. What else can you do? So there's different shapes. So like you can choose any one of these different lockups to kind of make your text look a little bit more fancy, but we're going to not have that today. You can create a shadow on your text. So, I could make a blue shadow. I could create an outline, make that a matching blue as well. So you can really do a lot of editing to the text here. You can also do a lot of editing to your imagery. So you can change the shape. So let's say we wanted to have it in a heart. And there we go. It's a heart just in one click. And you can also edit the look of your image as well. So you can brighten it up. You can bump up the saturation. So if you don't use other photo editing programs like Photoshop, for example, and you just want to have it all in one in a really easy interface, all the tools accessible to you in one place, then this is what Adobe Express is really great for. So you can bump up the warmth, you can just edit your image as well. So that's kind of a little overview of how you can manipulate an existing design that you've created from one of your templates. I also just want to draw your attention really quick to some other tools and features within Express. So we have a design assets section. So these are a whole bunch of graphic images, motifs, and illustrations that you can use and add to your projects. There are literally thousands of them. I wish I had time to go through all of them today, but I encourage you to jump on and have a look at all of them. So absolutely everything available to you to just add a little bit of flair to your design and just take it to that next level, elevate your design a little bit. So, I mean, I'm really just pressing anything here, but you could add some brushes, you could add glitter, you could add splashes of ink, you could add motifs and illustrations and icons if you want. There's also a shapes library. So I love these little icons. I like to use them on my social media assets on my website, and you can just search for whatever shape you want. Let's just say heart. And a whole bunch of different icons come up that you can just add to your project. Did that add? Yep, here we go. And then you can change their color as well. So, I mean, I'm really creating a Frankenstein design here just to illustrate to you what this might look like. But as you can see, you can add all these things really easily to your design. So that's a little bit about the design capabilities and the templating capabilities within Adobe Express. Now I want to share with you one of my favorite tools in Adobe Express, and that is the content scheduler. And this is really how we are able to easily and quickly, in a streamlined way, batch create all of our marketing for all of our different marketing platforms. So I'm going to show you the scheduling tool. Let's go back to, all right. So just in the home page, on the left-hand side here is the scheduling tool. So if you click on that, it'll open it up. Now, there's a few different platforms that you can link with your with Adobe Express. So in the setup section, you can connect your Twitter, your Instagram, your Facebook, your Pinterest, and your LinkedIn. So at the moment, I've got our Pinterest and our Instagram connected. And it will just, you can select your date and time preferences here, depending on kind of like how you want to view that in your scheduler. So once you've got them connected, it's really very simple. So you can either add all your content here on the left-hand side as drafts, and then you can just pop it in when you have decided what you want. So perhaps maybe if my assistant is generating our content that week, she might add them all here on the left-hand side, and then I'll go in and decide what days they're going to publish on. But yeah, so that's like an area for drafts. You can view it by the week or by the month. And then if you click on a date, let's just say today, I want to post an Instagram post. We click on it. And I have a creator account on Instagram. That's why it's saying that it requires the Adobe Express mobile app to push it to Instagram, which I've got on my phone and I can just use seamlessly because obviously it's all connected in the cloud. But if you have a business account, it'll automatically post for you. And this is a functionality that is within Instagram itself. So they don't let creators auto post, but if you have a business account, they will. So you can add media. Now, you can choose something from your device, or you can choose something that you've already created within Adobe Express. And this is really awesome because you can just go straight to your design folder where you keep all of the remixed and repurposed designs, and you can choose, look, there's the one we just created. Let's schedule that one. You can just click on it and it'll just load it up in the scheduler ready for you. So we're going to upload that. So as that's uploading, we can now customize what we want our post to be like. So we can add a caption. I'm just going to write, isn't this great? We can add hashtags in here into the caption too. We can add emojis. We can also choose to create a first comment. So if you're the kind of person that perhaps likes to put your hashtags in the first comment, you could add them in here. Hashtag fabulous. We can also choose the publishing date. We want it to go out today, and we can choose the time. Let's just say 6 p.m. That's the optimum time for my audience on Instagram, at least. PM, I should say. And you can choose to make it a draft post, or you can kind of schedule it as is. But I always like to preview what the post is going to look like first, just in case, you know. Oop, it says the selected date is in the past. Let's choose tomorrow. There we go. And then it brings it up in its sort of like Instagram lockup format, so you can see what this is going to look like. Simple. And then we just hit schedule, and it'll schedule that post. So that's now ready to go out at 6 p.m. tomorrow. It says, isn't this great? Our post is ready to go. And it was really, really easy. We used everything from within Adobe Express. It was all there for us. So I love that. I love that for me. I love streamlining everything. So there's a little bit of an overview of my favorite Adobe Express tools. I'm now going to stop sharing the screen and jump back into the final slide. Here we go. Okay, so here up on the screen are some further resources for you. As you can see, there are so many tools in Adobe Express to help you streamline your marketing workflow and achieve a cohesive and strong look across all of your marketing assets. So I've just shared some of my favorite features with you, but by all means, that wasn't the limit to the features that are available in Adobe Express. So if you are interested in giving it a go, I do encourage you to jump in and explore it for yourself, because there's so much more to be discovered that I didn't have time to even show you today. It's really fun. It's like a smorgasbord of fun design stuff in there. So I do encourage you to go in and have a look. So we're about to hop into a Q&A, but I did want to share these further resources with you. Now, we will also be emailing these resources out to you after the session. So don't worry if you didn't have time to jot these down just now. We're going to be giving them to you in an email. So we've got some further resources from Adobe Express. So I've linked here the Adobe Express YouTube channel, which has a whole bunch of really, really valuable and amazing resources and quick videos that show you how to use all sorts of aspects of Adobe Express. I've also included a link here to the Adobe Express Ambassador Program. So if you are interested in becoming more involved with the Adobe brand, Adobe Express actually has an ambassador program, which I'm part of as well. It's open for anyone to apply. There's no prior skills needed. You just need excitement and enthusiasm and an interest in spreading the word about the product. So that's the link there for more info about the ambassador program. We'll also share that in the email. I've also included a resource page on my own website filled with all the Adobe Express resources that I've ever created. There's some interviews in there. There's some remixable templates. There's some design assets that you can use in your projects. And also my Creative Career newsletter. So this is a monthly newsletter that goes out to anyone that's interested in growing a thriving creative career. We touch on different topics every month, and it's a really fun resource. I share a lot of stuff in there. So I encourage you to sign up for that if you're interested. And then, of course, our social media tags. And if you want to get in touch with me, if you have further questions after this session or just want to chat and say hello, feel free to email me. So that brings me to the end of my presentation. I think we are going to have some time for questions now. I will hand it over to Justine. Thanks so much, everyone. Where is she?
I'm here. If I
There you
can
are.
figure out how to start my camp. There we go. Hello. Thank you so much for that, Kit. That was so informative and so helpful. I was, plugged into our chat here during your presentation, and I know that a few of our listeners, our audience here, were really impressed with the features. Takeoff Travel Review was commenting, same with When I Wander, about the scheduling feature that's on Adobe Express. And I actually wanted to ask you, how have you figured out what is like the best, because you mentioned, I think you said some like 5 o'clock is the best time for engagement for you?
So in terms of social media, TikTok and Instagram, which are my two major, I guess, like social media platforms that I devote a lot of time and energy to. I mean, I've only just recently started out this year on TikTok. I feel very old, but I'm trying to, get with the cool kids, I guess. So that has just truly shown my age, but I'm trying to use it. But on there, within the insights analytics area, there is sort of like generalized time that your audience is most engaged with that platform. Right. So you can that's where I got the time from, but it honestly changes all the time. And in terms of pushing out marketing across other platforms, I track it over a month or two based on, how many opens I'm getting on my emails if I post at a certain time. I also think about when I would likely be checking things like emails or social media. I mean, I try not to do this, but I do check it as soon as I wake up in the morning. Everyone, this is not good. Try and have some calm morning time before you start going through your emails and stressing yourself out before you've even got out of bed. But yeah, so I sort of think about what I would do, and it's all about trial and error. But also with a lot of platforms, the content is evergreen still. Just because I don't see it right when it's posted doesn't mean they're not going to come across it another time. And that's also why repurposing is good, because you're just showing up all the time, repeating yourself constantly. It might seem like it's a lot to you, but honestly, to an outside person, seeing your content multiple times in different ways isn't going to be a bother.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much for all the tips that you shared about batch creating. I think exactly what you were saying earlier about, I'm sure all of us who are creators are reaching a point of burnout. It is exhausting. And so setting aside that time to just create all of this content so we don't have to keep revisiting it is such great advice. So thank you for that. I just want to remind everyone who is in our audience here, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in our chat. We have about 5 more minutes here with Kit. So please drop them in there. But I did want to ask you if you have any if we have brand new beginner creators here, what are some of the tips that you might have for someone? I know it could be overwhelming with all of the amazing features, all of the different colors and elements that are in Adobe Express. What are some, quick tips just to get your feet, or what's the saying, dip your toes into Adobe Express?
I definitely think starting with the pre-existing templates that are available to you, there's thousands of them. So if you kind of just want to have a play around, maybe pick one marketing platform. Let's just say, for want of a better example, it's Instagram, and go to the Instagram section of the templates in Adobe Express, choose one, and then say, okay, for a week, I'm just going to use this one template, and I'm going to change it up. I'm going to experiment with different imagery, different backgrounds on this one template just to learn the ropes. And then if you kind of just start small like that, you'll quickly learn, because it is very intuitive and really easy to learn all the different tools. You'll quickly want to expand and experiment with more and more and more. But I think starting small and simple is a good way to go.
Perfect. Yes, I love that. I love all of the preset templates that really just is plug and play, and you just pick the colors, you pick the fonts, there's still a lot of room for customization, but still quite easy. I love that.
And I didn't even mention, which is another really amazing thing, you can do like text animation. You can download your files as like video files or as GIFs or as, like normal graphic files. So there's a lot to explore, and you can really do so much and so many different things with one template as well, which is cool.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear, especially because I know with Instagram, with the move
video
towards
content, guys.
yeah,
video content.
Which we don't always have video content, but creating those kinds of animations with the text and other elements like that can help, can just help create reels that aren't necessarily video. So thanks for bringing that up. I know that's really important right now.
Yeah, so even if you just had a photo and you animated text on top of it and then uploaded it as a reel, you're ticking Instagram's really annoying box, and you're feeding the monster, and you're still putting your content out there in a way that's authentic to you.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much. I did want to leave a few minutes here just to share again that you can learn more about Adobe Express at www.adobe.com/express. Play around with that. And of course, please follow Kit at Kitiya Palaskas, both on Instagram and TikTok. Get inspired by her content. And of course, last but not least, I wanted to announce our winners for our raffle for 5 premium subscriptions to Adobe Express. And so I hope you're still with us here this evening. If you're not, don't worry. I'm going to send out an email to our winners. But our 5 winners here, drum roll, we have Marie Claire, Shannon Arner, Carly Simring, Barbie Lamoth, and Kristen Gill. Congratulations. Very, very excited to have you all play around with Adobe Express. And I'm going to send you all an email with information on how you can subscribe, how you can avail of that subscription. But before we go, I do have a question here for you. Is the posting feature available in the free version or only on the premium one? Do you know?
Jordan's on top of it. Jordan has answered this question.
There we go. Premium has unlimited posts. Free version has a limited number of posts. So again, please spend some time exploring Adobe Express. Take a look at Kit's work and get inspired. There's so many different ways that you can create through animations, through graphics, everything. And so again, thank you all so much for joining us this evening. I know we're almost at time here and want to be respectful of everything that you're all doing here. So yes, Kristen is there. Thank you for joining us this evening. Congratulations. And for now, I will say good night to everyone. Thank you again for joining. If you don't already, please follow Wonderful at She's Wonderful on all socials, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, not quite TikTok yet because we are trying to find our footing there for now. Follow us everywhere else. But for now, have a good night, everyone. Good luck on your DIY marketing.
Take care, everyone. Thank you. Bye.